I think these two votes in Iowa and New Hampshire are going to be much more important than usual. And not necessarily because they're going to pick the winner, but they're going to tell us something about Donald Trump. They're going to tell us, is that tremendous sentiment, which he has, and there's no question that he does,
biggest crowds,
the numbers on the polls, do they convert to votes without necessarily having the ground game that some of these other guys have? If they do, then he is a very serious candidate and possibly the nominee.
Would you say?
Now, that was former New York City mayor and former Republican presidential candidate Rudy Giuliani, one of several establishment Republicans. Harry is warming up to Donald Trump as the Republican race resembles more and more like looks more and more like a showdown between the two frontrunners, Trump and Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Mayor Giuliani telling the Washington Post that if it came down to Trump or Cruz, there is no question I'd vote for Trump. Joining me now with his take on the race, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, great to see you.
Thank you, Megan.
Why? What did it for you?
Okay, first, the difference between the two of them, Donald's a more practical guy. Now, I have to tell you, he's a personal friend. 4 of the candidates are personal friends, not including Ted Cruz. I love them all. Hard to pick. I don't know who I'm going to endorse. But between Trump and Cruz, Cruz is too rigid. He's too right-wing. He will give away the Northeast. Gone.
In the general?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Maryland up to Maine, gone. California up to Washington, Oregon, gone.
Who can Trump get that Cruz can't get?
I'll give you one person I just had dinner with, the head of the Correction Workers Union in New York, Norman Seabrook, who is an African American, enormously well respected by everyone in the African American community. He said to me tonight, I'm endorsing Donald Trump because he can get jobs. Donald Trump can do what Ronald Reagan did. He can reach over and he can get Reagan Democrats. He can also get African Americans, and believe it or not, Latinos, because he's not tarred by the long connection with the Republican Party that we all have. Blacks have this feeling about the Republican Party that we're anti-black, anti-Hispanic. We're not, but they have that feeling. He doesn't carry that burden with him. He could reach over, and he could be an enormously powerful general election candidate.
Why do you say you think he'll get Latinos? Because if you look at the polling on his numbers with Latinos, it's like 80% opposed.
You know what he's right about? When he finally gets to them, what they really care about? Jobs. Can they work? Can he lift the economy? Can he create growth? Can he reach out to them the way Ronald Reagan was able to reach out to the union workers who were all Democrats, but they voted for him because they felt he could increase their wages. Now, I believe he's making a mistake in not showing up in the debate.
You do?
He should be in that debate.
Why?
First of all, I think he's going to do really well. His debating performances, as you watch them from the debate you had, through getting better and better. His answer to Cruz on that statement Cruz made about New York, I thought was close to eloquent. I mean, it lifted him to presidential level. So if I were Donald, and I'm not, right, and he makes up his own mind, I would participate in the debate because I think he'll win it. And I don't know why he's not doing it.
What do you make about the, there are tough questions in a presidential contest. As I always say, you guys who run for this office, you want George Washington's job.
Okay, I was the front runner for, not as long as he was, but I was the front runner for a long time. Every debate I went into, I prepared for, and I knew I was going to get asked the trick questions, the tough questions, the go-getcha questions. Chris Matthews once asked me, what's the difference between Shia and Sunni? George Stephanopoulos.
You gave him a long lesson.
I did. I gave him a lesson. I went
never
back
to test your knowledge on anything.
I went back to the 6th century. George Stephanopoulos asked me, of all the things I did wrong in my life, including my marriages, what do I feel worst about? I said to George, I'd rather confess that to your father, a priest, than to you. You have got to be ready for that. If you're the front runner, they're all coming after you. Right now, Donald's the front runner. And I love Chris Christie. Jeb Bush, I consider a close personal friend. I was the second person to endorse Rubio when he ran for senator, and he was 27 points behind.
Wow.
Make a great president. And Donald's been my friend for 25 years. This is very tough for me because every one of these people are close friends. But you know the guy that comes out of this that I respect most? Your boss,
Amen.
Roger Ailes. He was my first political consultant. He taught me how to stop being a lawyer and become a politician. And that man is a genius, and he's a man who understands loyalty.
That's exactly right. And he has his people's back.
And I love him.
It's mutual. I think what we really learned here tonight is that Mr. Mayor Rudy Giuliani is going to have a cabinet position in the next administration if it's a Republican president. Great to see you, sir. It's a pleasure.
I didn't get in one thing. You did not ask an unfair question.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. We did not plan that.
I would have answered that question.
Thank you very much.